I mean, it's amazing to me. And again, I keep hearing this idea like we need to get somebody in there who's not a lifelong politician. We don't need a. I always think that's just a stupid thing to say. Like, I'm a big sports fan. I don't want I don't want the Celtics to hire a basketball coach who was a lifelong, I don't know, a hotel manager.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense.
Why would you want a businessman to run the country? Like that just doesn't, as much
Well,
as
a
you,
businessman might be okay. Donald
but
Trump is a
well, he's
horrific
not right. But
businessman.
I think it takes more than a businessman
I
to
do
run a
too.
fucking country. Like you need more than like I'm good at business because yeah, then that means you take a lot of risk. Like that's your jam. When you're running a country, although it seems like it's running like a business, there are people involved in people's lives. So you have to have more than just be good at business. You have to have empathy. You have to truly love this country and Americans that are in it. Like
All
business,
of them.
right? All of them. Businessmen to me care about their bottom line.
That's exactly right.
And that's a problem. You
Well, that's
don't
playing out
want.
with Donald Trump.
Right, exactly. You don't want to like a businessman would be the worst because he's always looking at his bottom line and not about people. So it's like, would this be better for America? Would America make more money if we took women's rights away? Fuck them rights. Like
Right.
they wouldn't. Right? Like it's just.
Well, that's the misnomer that is put upon the American people. America is very money driven, and you look around at every single American wants to live that quote unquote American dream. And to them now it is living in this big mansion and being able to do whatever you want and drive fancy cars and all this stuff. And if you put this successful businessman in charge, he's going to find a way to make it happen for all of us. And that's where a lot of people get duped into thinking that they're one day going to be even close to somewhere like them.
It's stupid.
It really is. And it's almost sad and it's pathetic that you have these people at these rallies. Now, I don't think a lot of these people at the rallies think they're one day be flying in private jets. I think a lot of people at these rallies maybe they migrate more towards the racist, xenophobic, homophobic kind of shit because they know that this is as far as their life is going to go. So if they can validate their rest of their existence through their hatred of people not like them, then there's somehow they can feel somewhat better because now at least we're trolling these people who think they're better than us. But I don't, again, I think if they got to know somebody like me and Lana on a side where, and again, I don't even like saying sides, but, as on the left, a liberal, Democrat, whatever it is, that we would accept them more, that we don't hate them, that we're not angry towards them. We don't particularly like their views. But I think, and Lana, you tell me, I think a lot of their views are just very misguided. I think if you sat down with them and explained to them that maybe every once in a while you can get them to go and realize, hey, maybe I am being duped, because everybody can be stupid, but I think people can still be reasoned with. And I don't know. Am I wrong?
We talking about MAGA? I don't know if they can be.
Yeah.
What I think Trump has really sold them the dream.
On an individual basis, though,
Maybe
can they be?
I don't know. Like you could just give them all of the facts and they just really like what are we gonna reason? Trump is a rapist. That doesn't change their minds. They heard him talk about grabbing women by the you know what?
Mm-hmm.
That hasn't changed their minds. The felonies don't change their minds. Like, what are we going to reason with? Like, I don't know. Immigrants are not bad people. We need immigrants in this country. Like, immigrants are Trump is only mad about the immigrants crossing the border, but like anyone else, everyone's okay with. Like, do they care about that, or they just want something to be mad about them?
Well, they definitely want something to be mad about. And that's what I'm just wondering if on an individual basis, if we were able to talk to them. Now, again, we're not going to be able to do it on social media. That will never happen because we don't get to see the expressions. We don't get to see the empathy. We don't get to see everything when you're doing it online. You just see hate, anger, and, you're on the other side. You're on the other side. You suck. You suck. And that's basically all it is. It's kind of like, if you're in a big football stadium and there's 100,000 people in there and there's a big play, or that play that we played earlier, if you're in the arena, like the social media arena, the noise is very, very loud. But if you're 10 miles away and you're not in that arena, you can't hear the noise. You know what I mean? And so if you can't hear the noise, if you're not in the arena of the noise, and you kind of take them out and say, hey, let's just go sit at a bar, just me and you, and talk about it. I think, there's a better way to be able to convince people. But again, the reality of that is it's just not, how can you just can't grab everybody.
You've been in that situation, right? Haven't you talked to, because you're in Florida.
Daily.
Yeah. How does that work out?
I will tell you that if you get to a person, because if I'm doing, so I have some group text that I'm in, and basically all it is me trying to convince them that they're the stupidest fucking people I've ever met in my life. But it's more of a, it's just, it's more of a punching bag sparring thing than it is, but if I were to talk to somebody that I didn't know, I have been in conversations where my demeanor is different. I am trying to be more understanding, but still holding my ground and saying, look, I'm going to try to understand what you're saying, but let's go down and break it down. And I feel like there's good conversations, but you know what I also feel? I feel the biggest problem there is that when they walk away, they might go, hey, great conversation, but they go on with the rest of their lives and go right back to that.
Yeah, because it's like Trump is really God for them. Like I watched a woman just crying when he was talking, and it's just like, he just lied. It's really bizarre.
It is bizarre. And, but, there are some people you see too. There are some, even on social media, you'll see some people who are saying, I used to be a Trump voter. I voted for him in 2016. Right. I voted for 2020. So you could see there is enough people that have been convinced. You could see in the polling after the Republican primaries that people were going out to vote for Nikki Haley, and not necessarily because they love Nikki Haley, is because it was a protest vote against Donald Trump to let people know, I'm done with this guy. Done.
Because he's messy. He's just a bridge too far. Like it's just a lot. There's the dementia aspect, it's the racism, the bigotry, just being mean, the retribution, just wanting to take over the government. Like it's just a lot. And
then you throw in the abortion. You throw in
how I don't understand. Like Trump has something for everybody, something negative and dark and nasty for everyone, but people still vote for him. Like there's literally something for even the people who love him. There's something that Trump would do that hurts them. Like directly, but they still don't even see it. And it's crazy because like people who have retirements, your retirement's doing great and you fucking know it.
Right.
You fucking know it.
Yep.
And it's not Trump.
You're absolutely right, Lon. And that's the other thing that drives me insane, because there were times during the Biden administration, I get the same message from some of these people who are like, look at my 401k. So now I can go back to them and go, hey, have you checked your 401k lately, by the way? And it's just like, you're exactly right. They know it. They know it's doing well. And you know what else sucks? These CEOs, all these people who run these businesses know that they are, again, making record-breaking profits. They are doing as well as they ever have. Their stocks are doing better than they ever have. And they're still wanting Donald Trump to go into office because he's going to help them with their taxes.
Even more, just fucking greedy. You're absolutely right. Because if the regular person stock retirements are doing great, corporations are doing excellent.
Right.
The economy's doing great. So
that's
they're
exactly
doing
right.
Spectacular.
Yep.
But
yeah.
Right. They want those permanent tax cuts.